doing today? You having some fun? You ready to take your country back? Are you a little upset that they've been lying to you like they have for the last few years? All right, so before they get off the stage, I gotta thank my children, especially Chloe, who was basically functioning as my Jill Biden to make sure that I was capable of walking onto a stage. Now think about this, guys. We're running against a party that wants to take away your AR-15, but they gave a vegetable the nuclear codes. Think about that. Think of how insane that all is. Each and every day, there's a new measure of stupidity, a new level of asinineness. And what's great is, it looks like they're sticking with Joe. After lying to us for 5 years, that this guy is competent, that this guy is fit to serve. Raise your hand here. If Joe Biden showed up to pick you up in an Uber, would you get in the car? Would you let a friend get in the car? Would you let your worst enemy get in that car? Maybe, maybe. Dumb ways to die, right, folks? But this is what we're dealing with each and every day. Just this week, Joe Biden announced that he's going to veto a required proof of citizenship to vote. I wonder why that would be, folks. Why do you think they would stop that? You're right, we do. We have to stop the steal. We have to beat the margin of fraud. To win by 2, we gotta win by 6. That's the game they've been setting up. There's a reason they've let in 15 million people. Venezuela right now is the safest it's been in decades because all their criminals reside in our neighborhoods. That's what's going on. There's no other explanation for it. They're not even hiding from it at this point. They realize they can't run on the economy. They can't run on inflation. The adults that are back in charge have, let's just say, failed us miserably. And we've seen it each and every day. Remember, the adults are going to be back in charge. They told us this, and let's just say, I don't feel it yet, guys. It's been 3.5 years. You'd think you'd see it by now, right? I am a reasonably spoiled individual, and if I go to the grocery store, if I take my kids to McDonald's and I'm pissed off, no, seriously, what does everyone else feel? If I get it, if I see it, how do the Democrats not see it? How do our representatives in Washington, D.C. not understand it? We went from a time of peace and prosperity, success for everyone in our country, to a time of disaster, war, death, destruction, poverty, and it's only going to get worse if they keep doing it. Remember, I talk about the Noah Center, right? The adults are going to be back in charge, and we got our Secretary of State on a world stage after the disastrous Afghan withdrawal saying with a straight face that he was shocked and dismayed that the Taliban, folks, the Taliban did not install, and I quote, a more diverse and inclusive government. I would say end of quote, but then they'd say I'm Joe Biden reading from the teleprompter. Now, but think about it. He's like Ron Burgundy. If you put it on the teleprompter, he will read it, folks. He can't make that distinction. But what's scarier, guys, is they allowed this guy to be in charge. They told you with a straight face that this is the guy that was going to bring reason to the world. He was going to keep you safe. He's the guy you can count on with 4,276 years of experience in Washington, D.C. And now we see it. But think about it. It wasn't just the media lying to us about his competence. I love you too. We need more love, folks. And that's what it is, guys. You know what this is? Right now, it's about love. It's about love of country. It's about love of our future generations and our families. That's what we're fighting for, because I can assure you, Donald Trump didn't need this job. He didn't need it in 2016, and against all odds, against the biggest onslaught of media attacks, against the biggest and unprecedented onslaught of Democrat opposition, against opposition from people within his own party who would tell their constituency that they agreed with everything. He faced opposition from them, and he still got it done. And Paul Ryan, well said. With Republicans like Paul Ryan, who needs Democrats? But remember, folks, it's not just the media. It's not just the Democrat elite. You have a bunch of Senate races going on right now. Sherrod Brown in Ohio, John Tester in Montana. They vote with Joe Biden almost 100% of the time. They told you with a straight face, this guy is the right guy for us. And look at the results. Abject failure. But they pretend like they don't have anything to do with him. Now they're distancing themselves from him because they're running a campaign. They're running a race. But you voted with them 100% of the time. You're on the record repeatedly telling us this guy's going to deliver for you peace and prosperity and success. And he's failed across the board. We got to remember, guys, this isn't about the presidency. We need to win everything. We need to win school boards. We need to win state legislatures. We need to win dog catcher. And we have to hold those who lied to us for the past 5 years accountable for their lies. And honestly, it was longer than that, right? It was really 8 years. Because the second my father took the oath of office, they went after him. They went after me. I know. I did 50 hours of congressional testimony. Now, I understand that I am not the upstanding citizen that Hunter Biden is. I get that. I understand. No, I get it. In my next life, I want to be a Democrat, because you can actually be a crackhead that sells out your country across the board, and it's just fine. They will protect you and take care of you. We don't have that luxury. But what we have is great people like you who are willing to stand up, who see through the nonsense, who are willing to push back. Now everyone sees it. That's why they're running their importation operation, right? Because they realize that even reliable Democrat voting blocs aren't voting Democrat anymore. We see that here in the great state of Florida, because people from Cuba and Venezuela who were escaping real persecution, they don't want to bring communism to America. And that's what they're doing. But think of what they did to my father and our businesses and everything, right? 37 felony prosecutions, a $500 million fight. They fined our organization $500 million almost for paying back loans on time with interest. No, but just to be clear, Boeing Airlines, a major company, just got fined $240 million for 2 plane crashes where they admit some sort of fraud and negligence that killed 340 people. Just for perspective, so you understand where we're at. 340 people by a major corporation that's acknowledging their guilt in the matter. 340 people dead. They get fined $243 million. We get fined almost $500 for paying back loans on time. No. That's the perspective. And guess what, guys? If they can do it to Trump, they can do it to you. But more importantly, if they will do it to Trump, they will do it to each and every one of you that stands up for the freedoms, our beliefs, our rights, the things that this country was founded upon. And that's why we have to be here to take it back. It's why we have to say enough is enough. We have to take on that swamp. We have to take on the bureaucracy. And they're going after my father now harder than ever before, because they understand now he knows the game. When he came in as an outsider, it's, I get it. We came in as an outsider. It's a little different. It's a little different. You had to learn it. That takes time, right? The Plum Book, the 4,000 jobs assigned by the president. Man, I think he'd been in Washington, D.C. for 2 cumulative days prior to winning the presidency. You don't know who those people are. You don't know who you can trust. A lot of them you can't. Now you know. Okay? So this is what we have to fight back against. The corruption, the lies, the gaslighting, the nonsense, and the noise. And we're not in a fair fight. We don't have $1 trillion institution that is our mainstream media backing us. We don't have that benefit. They'll lie about us all day long, with the exception of 1 or 2 people I see on the dais up there. We don't have $1 trillion institution of big tech. We don't have that. These are the same people that protect Joe Biden, that told you he was rational, he was clear, he was lucid. The fake doctor, think about this. Today, the story broke. Joe Biden's doctor, the one that says he should not take a cognitive test because clearly everything's fine, right? It's so fine. This is Joe Biden on a stage. It's not that hard to speak. I'm not even using a teleprompter. He can't even do that right. Right? The doctor that's telling us that Joe Biden's fine is also a business partner with the Biden family. Think about that for a second. And of course, you know, again, if we had actual journalists left in this country, people would talk about these things. They would bring up the point. They would drive home that point. If it was Donald Trump, you're damn right they would be talking about it, rightfully so. If I was Hunter Biden, if that was my laptop, I'd be at Gitmo. And my father would have been the person that sent me there. Hey, we all need a little kick in the ass sometime in our life, okay? Hunter needed it about 50 years ago, but never got it. I'm much cuter, thank you. I like you, baby. So, guys, the reality is this. You've seen it. You've seen the attacks. You've seen the unequal administration of justice in our country. You see the way they treat good, hardworking Americans. You see the America Last policies that have failed us and have enriched our enemies and have emboldened our enemies, because that's the reality. Democrat policy and the weakness they exude on a world stage is why we are seeing the chaos and turmoil that we see across the world. It's the nature of predation. It's a story as old as time. Predators prey on the weak, and when America is weak, when they're leading from behind, when they have an incompetence on the world stage, enemies will act. The wars will go away the second my father is elected. By the way, they'll get to the table the second November 5th happened, even before he takes into office, because they realize he'll drive a harder bargain than the morons that would rather, you know, have trans admirals than actually win wars. Right? I mean, have you seen some of this stuff? They're shocked. We can't recruit anyone for the military. I wonder why. Can't quite figure it out. Good, patriotic, hardworking Americans don't want to go die for the transvestite that was given an admiralship simply because they were transvestites, right? I mean, it's not rocket science. It wasn't like they were the greatest soldiers in the world. They were just, they checked a couple more boxes. So, guys, between now and November 5th, there can be no letting off the gas. You must speak to your friends. I'm not so worried about Florida. Feels pretty good, but we still got to win the congressional seat and all the down ticket races. But each and every one of you, you need to call your friends across the country. You need to speak to them. You have to make sure they understand what is happening. You see it around the world. This was an article I read today because it was just so disgusting to me as a father of 5 young children. Here's the article from the Daily Mail. Danish 17-year-old girl who used pepper spray to fight off a rapist near migrant asylum center. Sure, had nothing, no correlation there at all. Was told she will be prosecuted for carrying a weapon. So a literal victim of rape is going to be prosecuted for defending herself. That is the liberal mindset. That is what Democrat policy will ultimately be in that country. You see them refusing to prosecute crimes here. Only Americans, only patriots, only those people get prosecuted. If you're a criminal element, as long as you'll reliably vote Democrat, you have free reign. We have to speak to our friends. We have to get them engaged. We have to get them involved. And we have to take our country back because it's worth it. The American dream is worth it. Our freedoms and our liberties are worth it. and our children are sure as hell worth it. And we have to fight for them across the board. So God bless you all, Miami. Thank you for your support. Thank you for fighting like you do. I love you guys, and I promise you, as long as we're here, we will fight tooth and nail to save everything you all stand for. You're the best. God bless, Miami.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Eric Trump.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war, you could talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck, dedicate yourself and you go find yourself.
Miami! Welcome to the Great Doral. All right, so I've got a very serious question for everybody. And I'm going to do this in front of Don's kids. Which Trump son do you like more? Do you like Eric? Or do you like Don? Don, that was pretty decisive, I think. Well, guys, welcome to one of the greatest properties in the world. You know, welcome to one of the greatest properties in the world. And you know, this property is a great parallel to our country. When we got it, it was sick as hell. It was run down. The people who ran this property didn't give a crap about it. They didn't put their heart and soul into this property. And I'll never forget, we came in, we bought it around 2011, and my father and myself and Don and Ivanka, we were down here as a family every single day. And we instilled pride in it, and we believed in it, and we fixed it, and we managed it properly. And it's become one of the greatest properties anywhere in the world. And that's so much like our country. You need to have people who actually want to be a cheerleader. You need to have people who actually care, actually have heart and soul. And that's what we did. And honestly, my father's the greatest fighter I've ever seen in my entire life. The hell... You know, guys, I sat in that courtroom every single day because I wanted to be by his side. And honestly, the corruption, I would have never guessed. If you could have zoomed back 8 years, I would have never believed that this was the United States legal system. I never would have thought that they could have fined somebody $500 million for doing absolutely nothing wrong, right? When they're letting out hardened criminals in New York as they run around McDonald's in Times Square and slash the hell out of people, you know, the entire DA is sitting there in the front row giggling and chuckling with a judge that's totally in their pocket. I would have never guessed this could have been the United States of America. And, you know, we've seen these in so many countries. I mean, how many Cubans do we have in the audience tonight? You've seen this movie before. How many Venezuelans do we have here? Guys, you've seen this before. And I'm sitting there as a son. And you know what's remarkable? I've never seen a guy with more determination and perseverance. I'll never forget, they read out 34 bogus guilty felonies. Guilty, 34 times.
he stands up with the exact same demeanor that I see him with at 5 o'clock in the morning and 11 o'clock at night. He turns around, he shakes my hand, we walk out, we go to a fundraiser where he starts fighting for the United States of America again. I'm so freaking proud of him. And believe me, guys, if I didn't stand on the stage, if I wasn't here right now, they wouldn't be hitting me. I'm probably the most subpoenaed person in the history of this country. 110 subpoenas, and I've never gotten so much as a traffic ticket. And the second he went down that aisle, subpoena after subpoena, because they just wanted to get to Donald Trump. And they wanted to get to him because we have a president right now who's freaking incompetent. Absolutely incompetent. This isn't the best of America. In fact, he's the worst of America. Look what's happening to our economy. Look what's happening to everything. But beyond that, look what's happening to our values in this country. Look what's happening to religion. Look what's happening to our Constitution. Free speech. The Ayatollah was on Twitter. Yet they threw Donald Trump off like a dog. He had to open up Truth Social, which, by the way, is doing awesome. I mean, can you imagine that? They threw the 45th president of the United States off because, that's how weaponized the system is. And guys, they've weaponized every system. They weaponized the FBI. They weaponized the DOJ. They weaponized the media. They've weaponized education. Thank God for Loudoun County moms who came out and fought like hell. By the way, thank God for the moms in this country, because honestly, the job that they did there, no one tougher than the moms in this country. But they did this, and despite what they tried to do, they tried to ruin his image, they tried to ruin his marriage, they tried to ruin his family, they tried to divide all of us. You know what they can't stand? All these people back here, you know what they can't stand? That we sit there as a united front, and we never stop punching back. We never stop punching back. And I can tell you right now that they're not happy. They're not happy after that last debate. That last debate, I said this to my father. I was the first person to speak to him when he came off the stage that night. I go, that debate was over before the guy got to his microphone. Do you see him shuffle across the stage? He's doing... This is not projecting strength to the rest of the world. This is not. No way could he do what we're doing right now. No way could he do what my father's about to do. And by the way, he just got to this beautiful house. He's in the house. How about we send him a little message right now? By the way, looking in that direction, there's another incredible fighter. Has anybody ever heard of Alina Habba in the beautiful red dress right there? You put any corporate attorney in the country, and that girl in that beautiful red dress and those stilettos will walk all over them. She's got more backbone than every one of them combined. Come on, Alina, come up here. Get up here. She's unbelievable. She goes on every single show, every single night, and fights like hell. And we love her and we appreciate her. We love the fighters. We love the fighters, and she's a great one. You want to say something?
I got to lower this a little bit. I am not 6 foot whatever. But I will tell you one thing. I have sat in courtroom after courtroom fighting for this family for the last 3 years, and it is the proudest job I have ever had. It is. There is corruption like you have never seen, and that is coming from a person who cannot even tell you half of what she's seen. In those courtrooms and those judges and that corrupt Jack Smith and the DOJ that is fighting the Biden fight because he cannot spell Bob backwards, we are going to take America back. And I will tell you right now, I'm doing my part, but you guys being out here are doing yours. Thank you. God bless America. God bless the Trump family.
God bless her. She's really an incredible person. But guys, if there's one thing I can promise you, we're coming up on the RNC in a couple days. From now until November 5th, we as a family are going to fight like hell. We are going to fight every single second of every single day, and we are going to restore the greatest Republican in the history of the world. Joe Biden's going to get the hell out of the White House, and we're going to put the professionals back in, and we're going to make this country strong. We're going to bring back God. We're going to bring back our Second Amendment. We're going to save these. Freedom of speech, the nuclear family, all the things that we absolutely adore. We're going to root out the corruption, and we're going to make this country so proud. And I have never been more proud as a son to stand on the stage. And I will stand on this stage no matter how many bullets that they launch at me, how many arrows they fling at me, with the greatest president this country has ever seen. We will never stop fighting. We will never give up. And I promise you all, Florida, we're going to win Florida by the biggest numbers you've ever seen. But we're also going to win this country by the largest margin ever. I love you, Florida. Get ready for the greatest president in this country's history. Donald Trump is in the house, and he'll be on the stage in 1 minute. Love you guys. Thanks.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you go find yourself.
Standing in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah,
and the world's gonna know your name.
yeah,
'Cause you burn with the brightest flame,
yeah,
and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile. You can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try?
Do it for your country, do it for your name. 'Cause there's gonna be a day when you're
Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the brightest flame, and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion, be a champion, be a champion, be a champion. The walls of the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the brightest flame, and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong hanging on your chest.
You could be a girl, you could beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself.
Standing in the Hall of Fame.
go on. Far across the distance and spaces between us, you have come to show you. Go on. Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that my heart does go on. Once more, you open the door, and you're here in my heart, and my heart will go on and on. Love can touch us one time and last for a lifetime and never let go till we're gone. Love's when I loved you one true time. I hold you in my life, will always go on. Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the heart does go on. Once more, you open the door, and you're here in my heart, and my heart will go on There's nothing I feel, and I know that my heart will go on. We'll say forever this way. You are safe in my heart, and my heart will go on and Thank you so much, everybody. Good night. Good night, Master.
I see trees of green. Red roses too. I see them blue for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed days, dark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what
What a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the skies, also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime. What the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new. Know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, 'cause the rich men. I wish politicians would look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, north of rich men. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
Well, it's been building up
boss Kevin and Nice League. That video is for Operation Smart.
Shot plays £1,000,000 ball. He's a pinball wizard, there has to be a twist. A pinball wizard got such a simple wrist. I don't know what makes him so good. Well, he ain't got no distractions, can't hear no buzzes and bells. Don't see lights are flashing, he plays by sense of smell. Always has a replay, never tilts at all. That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. He can't beat me now, I've always been the champ. I know every trick, no freak's gonna beat my hand. He run my usual table, he got beat the best. He's as soft as a little man, and he just does the rest. He's got crazy clever fingers, I've never seen him fall. That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. He's a pinball wizard, there has to be a twist. A pinball wizard got such a simple wrist. He's a pinball wizard, the score tricking ball. A pinball wizard, the world's new pinball lord. He's scoring more. He's scoring more. This is a man's world. This is a man's world. But it would be nothing, nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl. You see, man made the car to take us over the road. Man made the train
hear the blues. Man made the electric lights and take us out of the dark. And man made the boat for the water. Like my Bible said, Noah made the ark. This is a man's world. Ow! But it wouldn't mean nothing, nothing, nothing. Without a woman or a girl.
L'uomo rincorre il potere, ma lui non sa che il grande limiti ad essere come si parla. Nel palmo stringe un'idea che non vive, che nella sua fantasia folle, se non si accorge che poi nulla più senso c'è, si vive solo per sé.
Man thinks about a little bit of baby girls and a baby boy. Man make them happy because man make them toys. But after man made everything he can. Man made lira, pesos, dollars, rubles, and buy from every good woman and every man. Ow! This is a man's world.
Senso c'è,
But it wouldn't be nothing.
solo per sé, solo per sé.
He's lost in the wilderness. It's a man's world. He's lost.
E non si accorge che poi nulla più senso c'è, si vive solo per sé, solo per sé, solo per sé.
This is a man's world. Hi.
was gone. Send shivers down my spine. Body's aching all the time. Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. I'll leave you all behind. That's the truth.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, oh what a thrill. Goodness, your wreckage is quitting balls of fire. I let the love all I thought it was funny. You came along and you moved me, honey. I changed my mind, love is fine. Goodness gracious, quitting balls of fire. You kiss me, baby. Ooh, it feels good. Hold me, baby. Girl, just let me love you like a lover should. You're fine, so kind. I'm gonna tell this world that you're mine, 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 mine. I took my nails and I twiddle my thumb. I'm real nervous, but it sure is fun. Come on, baby, you drive me crazy. The goodness gracious, whipping balls of fire. Should. You're fine, so kind. I got to tell this world that you're mine, 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 mine. I treat my nails and I flip on my thumb. I'm real nervous because the show is fun. Come on, baby, drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, quick balls of fire.
I can see what's happening. What? And they don't have a clue. Who? They'll fall in love, and here's the bottom line. Our trio's down to 2.
Oh.
The sweet caress of twilight. There's magic everywhere. And with all this romantic atmosphere, disasters in the air.
Can you feel the love tonight? The peace the evening brings. The world for once in perfect harmony with all its living things.
So many things to tell her, but how to make her see the truth about my past? Impossible. She'd turn away from me.
He's holding back, he's hiding. and what I can't decide. Why won't he be the king I know he is, the king I see inside? Can you feel the love tonight? He's the evening breeze. The world for once in perfect harmony with all its living things. Can you feel the love tonight? You needn't look too far. Stealing through the night's uncertainties, love is where they are.
And if he falls in love tonight, it can be assumed his carefree days with us are history. In short, our pal is doomed.
two hands. We've traveled this land, packed tight in minivans. And all this for the fans, girls, money, and fame. I played their game and had to scream my name. I will show no shame. I live and die for this. And if I come off soft, fix you on this.
Are you scared?
Devil without a cause, and I'm back with the beaver hats and Ben Davis slacks. 30-pack of stroll, 30-pack of hoes. No Rogaine in the propane flows. The chosen one, I'm the living proof with the gift of gab from the city of truth. I jabbed and stabbed and knocked critics back, and I did not stutter when I said that. I'm going platinum, selling rhymes. I went platinum 7 times. And still they're ill and wanna see us ride. I guess because only God knows why. They call me cowboy, I'm a singer with black. So throw a finger in the air, let me see where you're at. Say, hey, hey. Let me hear where you're at. Say, hey, hey. I'm giving it back, so say, hey, hey. Show me some metal and say, hey, 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 hey. Fuck all y'all. I like the AC/DC and CZ Top. Josephus Beasties and the Kings of Rock. Skinner, Seeger, Limp, Corn, the Stones. David Allen Coe with No Show Jones. Yeah! Pass that bottle around. Got the rock from Detroit, soul from Motown, the underground stone. Fucking pimp with tracks that Mac and slap back the whack. Never gain away, I don't play with ass. But watch me rock with Liberace Flash. Pump rock the class. Boy bands are trash. I like Johnny Cash and Grandmaster Flash. Flash, 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 flash. They call me cowboy, I'm a singer in black. So throw a finger in the air, let me see where you're at. Say, hey, hey. Let me hear where you're at. Say, hey, hey. I'm giving it back, so say, hey, hey. Show me some metal and say, hey, 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 hey.
Yeah, I saw your band jumping around on stage like a bunch of wounded ducks. When you gonna learn, sucker? You just can't fuck with.
American badass, watch me kick. You can roll with rock or you can suck my dick. I'm a porno flick, I'm like Amazing Grace. I'm gonna fuck some hoes after I rock this place. Super fly, living double wide, sidecar my glide so Joe C can ride. Full sack to share, bringing flash and flare. Got the long hair, swinging middle finger in the air. Snakeskin suit, 65 Chevelle. See me ride and sit, hear the rebel yell. I won't live to tell, so if you do, give the next generation a big fuck you. Who knew I'd blow a black house walk over? Said fuck high school, pissed on my diploma. Smell the aroma, check my hits. I know it stinks in here, cause I'm the shit. They call me cowboy, I'm a singer with black. So throw a finger in the air, let me see where you're at. Say, hey, hey. Let me hear where you're at. Say, hey, hey. I'm giving it back, so say, hey, hey. Show me some metal and say, hey, 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 hey. I'm a cowboy, badass and black, singing, hey, 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 hey. From side to side, from front to back, say, hey, 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 hey. I put Detroit City back on the map for singing, hey, 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 hey. Kid Rock's in the house and that's where I'm at.
7 lonely days and a dozen times ago, I reached out one night and you were gone. Don't know why you'd run, what you're running to or from. All I know is I want to bring you home.
for a ride on this lonely Kentucky back road. I've loved you much too long. My love's too strong to let you go. Never knowing what went wrong. Kentucky rain keeps pouring down, and up ahead's another town that I'll go walking through with the rain in my shoes, searching for you in the cold Kentucky rain, in the cold Kentucky rain. Showed you a photograph to some old gray bearded men sitting on a bench outside a general store. They said, yes, she's been here, but their memory wasn't clear. Was it yesterday? No, wait, the day before. Finally got a ride with a preacher man who asked, were you bound on such a cold, dark afternoon? As we drove on through the rain, as he listened, I explained that he left me with a prayer that I find in you. Kentucky rain keeps pouring down, and up ahead's another town that I'll go walking through with the rain in my shoes, searching for you in the cold Kentucky rain, in the cold Kentucky rain, in the cold Kentucky rain, cold Kentucky rain. I've been in love so many times, I thought I knew the score. Now you treated me so wrong, I can't take anymore. And it looks like I'm never gonna fall in love again. I'm never gonna fall in love. I mean it, fall in love I gave my heart freely, cast aside my pride. When I saw you in his arms, baby, I broke up and cried. And it looks like I'm never gonna fall in love again. That's why I'm saying, I'm never gonna fall
not working hard. Yeah, right, picture that with a Kodak. Or better yet, go to Times Square, take a picture of me with a Kodak. Took my life from negative to positive, I just want y'all to know that. And tonight, let's enjoy life. Pitbull, Naya, Neo, that's right.
I want all of you tonight. Give me everything tonight. For all we know, we might not get tomorrow. Let's do it tonight. Let's do it tonight. Grab somebody sexy, tell them, hey, give me everything tonight. Give me everything tonight. Give me everything tonight. Give me everything tonight.
Take advantage of the night, cause tomorrow I'm off to do battle, perform for a princess. But tonight, I can make you my queen and make love to you endless. It's insane the way the name growing, money keep flowing. Hustlers moving silent, so I'm tiptoeing. So keep blowing, I got it locked up like Lindsay Lohan. Put it on my life, baby. I'm gonna give you a ride, baby. Can't promise tomorrow, but I promise tonight. Excuse me, and I might drink a little more than I should tonight. And I might take you home with me if I could tonight. And baby, I'ma make you feel so good tonight. Cause we might not get tomorrow.
Tonight, I want all of you tonight. Give me everything tonight. For all we know, we might not get tomorrow. Let's do it tonight. Let's do it tonight. Grab somebody sexy, tell them, hey, give me everything tonight. Give me everything tonight. Give me everything tonight. Give me everything.
Reach for the stars, and if you don't grab them, then you should fall on top of the world. Think about it, cause if you slip, I'm gonna fall on top of your girl. What I'm involved with is deeper than the Masons, baby, and it ain't no secret. My family's from Cuba, but I'm an American Idol, getting money like secrets. Put it on my life, baby, I'll make it feel right, baby. Can't promise tomorrow, but I promise tonight, darling. Excuse me, and I might drink a little more than I should tonight. And I might take you home with me if I could tonight. And baby, I'ma make you feel so good tonight. Cause we might not get tomorrow.
Tonight, I want all of you tonight. Give me everything tonight. For all we know, we might not get tomorrow. Let's do it tonight. Let's do it tonight. Grab somebody sexy, tell them, hey, give me everything tonight. Give me everything tonight. Give me everything tonight. Give me everything tonight.
Excuse me, and I might drink a little more than I should tonight. And I might take you home with me if I could tonight. And baby, I'ma make you feel so good tonight. Cause we might not get tomorrow.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden sky and the sweet silver soul of a love. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blow. Walk on with a hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. Walk on with a hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk
I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throne, she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Maybe I have been here before. I know this room, I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. I've seen your flag on the marble arch. Love is not a victory march, it's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. There was a time you let me know what's real and going on below, but now you never show it to me, do you? And remember when I moved in you, the holy dark was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Maybe there's a
look out above. And all I ever learned from love was how to shoot at someone who outdrew you. And it's not a cry you can hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah.
Body, body, wanna feel my body, baby. Such a thrill, my body, yeah, yeah. Wanna touch my body, baby. It's too much, my body, yeah, yeah. Check it out, my body, baby. Don't you stop my body, yeah, yeah. Talking about my body, well, turn it out, listen in. Every man wants to be a macho, macho man. To have the kind of body, always in demand. Jogging in the mornings, go man go. Workouts in the health bar, muscles glow. You can best believe he's a macho man. Glad he took it down with anyone he can. Hey, 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 hey. Macho, macho, macho man, yeah. I've got to be a macho. I got to be a macho, macho man, yeah. I've got to be a macho. Oh, macho, macho man, yeah. I've got to be a macho man. Macho, macho man. Hey, hey, I've got to be a macho. Body, hot, it's so hot, my body, baby. Love to fuck my body, yeah, yeah. Love to please my body, baby. Don't you tease my body, yeah. You adore my body, baby. Come explore my body, yeah, yeah. Me back on my body, baby. So good, hey. You can tell a macho he has a funky walk. His western shirts and leather always look so boss. Funky with his body, he's a king. Call him Mr. Ego, dig his chains. You can best believe that he's a macho man. He likes to be the leader, he never dresses grand. Hey, 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 hey. Macho, macho, macho man, yeah. I've got to be a macho. I've got to be a macho, macho man, yeah. I've got to be a macho. All right, macho, macho man, yeah, yeah. I've got to be a macho man. Macho, macho man. I've got to be a macho. All right. Macho, baby. Body, body, body. All right. Body wanna feel my body. Wanna feel my body, baby. Body. All right. Body come and thrill my body. Come and thrill my
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the next president of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time to say that I'm proud to be American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And hello, Doral. I love Doral. Hello, Miami. And hello, Florida. Thank you. There is nowhere else I'd rather be on this beautiful, cold, very cold summer evening than right here in the middle of the 10th hole. Beautiful hole, isn't it? Look at that lake. Isn't it beautiful? On one of the greatest golf courses on earth, and we really want to thank all of the tens of thousands of people that showed up. This is a lot of people. This is a lot of people. As the world can see, we are under the leadership. The Republican Party is bigger, stronger, more vibrant, and more united than ever, ever, ever before. Every day we are welcoming more Americans to our ranks, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, young people, old people, union members, non-union members. Basically, everyone is joining our movement because it's a movement of common sense. It's common sense. Whatever happened to common sense in government? We've got it. We've got more than anybody's ever had. Meanwhile, the radical left Democrat Party is divided in chaos and having a full-scale breakdown, all because they decide which of their candidates is more unfit to be president, sleepy, crooked Joe Biden or laughing Kamala. Laughing Kamala. As you know, in our recent debate, and in honor of all of you, I dealt Joe Biden, even according to the fake news media, the most decisive and overwhelming defeat in the history of presidential debates. I think so, right? I think so. And that was a big crowd that was watching. That was one of the highest rated shows ever on television, so I'm honored to be a part of it. I don't think he's too happy, but, you know, I like being a part of it. But even CNN said as I walked off the stage that it was one of the greatest performances they've ever seen. But it was sort of easy, if you want to know the truth. Our victory was so absolute that Joe's own party now wants him to throw in the towel and surrender the presidency after a single 90-minute performance. They want Crooked Joe out of the race. It's a shame the way they're treating him. But don't feel sorry for him. He's a very bad guy. He weaponized government. Remember that. He's a very bad guy. Don't feel sorry for him. So tonight I'm officially offering Joe the chance to redeem himself in front of the entire world. So Marco and Byron and everybody, here's what we're going to do. You guys can be referees if you like. Let's do another debate this week so that Sleepy Joe Biden can prove to everyone all over the world that he has what it takes to be president. But this time it will be man-to-man, no moderators, no holes barred. Just name the place, anytime, anywhere. And in the debate, Sleepy Joe also declared that he wanted to test his skills and stamina against mine on the golf course. Can you believe this? Did you ever see him swing? He's like this. That's why this evening I am also, and this is in honor of you and everybody here, is 45,000 people. That's a lot of people. I'm also officially challenging Crooked Joe to an 18-hole golf match right here. On Doral Blue Monster, considered one of the greatest tournament golf courses anywhere in the world, one of the great courses of the world. It will be among the most watched sporting events in history, maybe bigger than the Ryder Cup or even the Masters. And I will even give Joe Biden 10 strokes aside. 10 strokes, that's a lot. That means 20 strokes in case you don't play golf. I will give him 10 strokes aside, and if he wins, I will give the charity of his choice, any charity that he wants, $1 million. And I'll bet you he doesn't take the offer. I would bet because he's all talk. But what that match will do is prove that Joe is, in fact, all talk and no action. But on many things, not just golf. When pilots walk into the White House, he says he used to fly planes. He didn't. When truckers come in, he says he used to drive a truck. He didn't. When Jewish people are here, he always attended synagogues, he said. The Jewish people. He didn't attend a synagogue. Did he ever see a synagogue? He doesn't know what a synagogue is. When black people come, he spent his Sundays in black churches. All of it's false, all of it's fake. He's a fake. Unfortunately, he was like that in Afghanistan. He was like that with Russia, Ukraine, and he was like that on October 7th and the attack in Israel. He didn't know what he was doing. But whatever else can be said about Crooked Joe Biden, you have to give him credit for one brilliant decision, probably the smartest decision he's ever made. He picked Kamala Harris as his vice president. No, it was brilliant because it was an insurance policy, maybe the best insurance policy I've ever seen, Marco. If Joe had picked someone even halfway competent, they would have bounced him from office years ago, but they can't because she's got to be their second choice. She has no choice and no chance. As vice president, Kamala Harris was given two jobs, two very important jobs, actually. First, she was put in charge of the U.S. border security and the border. And she never showed up. She's never gone. She never went there once. And the border's the worst border in the history of the world, not just in the number of years, the worst. We had the best border in history. She has the worst border in the history of the world. And then she was sent to Europe to deter Russia from attacking Ukraine. How did that work out? Not too good. Both times the result was a deadly failure. Since Kamala was made border czar, the Biden-Harris administration has lost track of an estimated 150,000 children, many of whom have undoubtedly been raped, trafficked, killed, or horribly abused. I think of it, 150,000 children are missing. They're gone. Nobody knows where they are. Many are not with us any longer. She's 100% for the Green New scam, supports banning the sale of gas-powered cars. Who wants to drive an electric car for the rest of your life? Does anybody? You don't want to drive for 45 minutes and then stop for 3 hours. Is that what you say? And wants the American energy industry totally shut down, starting with Pennsylvania fracking and Texas drilling. No drilling in Texas, no fracking in Pennsylvania. We just got a poll from Pennsylvania with 12 points up. That's a lot. We got a poll from Texas with 16 points up. And we have some great people from Texas here tonight. And as a senator, Kamala sided with socialist Bernie Sanders. He's a real socialist. He's serious. But not as bad as Biden turned out to be. Bernie's embarrassed by some of the things that Biden did because they push him around. It's the ultra-far left government takeover of the entire health care system. And I don't think Kamala Harris's California socialism is going to go down well with the people of Doral, the people of Miami, or the people of Florida. Because in Florida, we don't like socialism. We want our freedom, right? We want our freedom. And we have a lot of people, Marco, from Cuba, from Venezuela, from all over. And they don't want to hear about socialism or communism. Thank you. Despite all the Democrat panic this week, the truth is it doesn't matter who they nominate because we are going to beat any one of them in thundering landslides. And this November is going to be amazing. Going to be the most important election in the history of our country because our country's going down the tubes. That's a nice way of saying our country's not doing too well. We've never had anything like it. Our borders, our economy, worst inflation ever. We have the politics on our side. We have the policies on our side that will make America great again, and they don't. They will only continue to destroy our nation. Our nation is being destroyed. Joe, Kamala, and the entire Democrat establishment have been caught red-handed in the thick of the biggest scandal and the biggest cover-up. It's a cover-up. That's what it is. And I said it when they hit this guy in the basement and then they cheated on the election. It's a cover-up. It's the biggest cover-up in political history. As you know, they are all co-conspirators in the sinister plot to defraud the American public about the cognitive abilities of the man in the Oval Office. Sometimes he's there, not there often. Laughing Kamala, L-A-F-F-I-N apostrophe. Laughing. Laughing Kamala was in on it. Crazy Nancy Pelosi, who, by the way, is also very cognitively impaired. Have you watched her lately? She's not doing too well. She's not doing too well. I think she's worse than Joe. You want to know that? She was in on it. Crying Chuck Schumer. You ever see him cry? He cries when the phoniest crying I've ever seen. Crying Chuck Schumer was in on it. Every Democrat cabinet member was in on it. They all knew this guy was grossly incompetent, and every Democrat in the House and the Senate was in on it. It was a scam. The American people can never trust this group of liars ever again. They've put our country at great risk and danger. That's why we are going to sweep them all out of office this November. I believe it'll be an election like no other. But the biggest problem for the radical left Democrats is that their candidates are very much, if you take a look, mentally deficient. Is that a nice statement? They are mentally deficient. I'm saying that because the other term is too tough. The biggest problem is that their policies are no good. Their policies are horrible. Americans want strong borders, not open borders. We want low taxes, not high taxes. You know, they want to increase your taxes 4 times, by 4 times. We want a strong military, not a woke military. We don't have a woke. We have some woke generals at top, but they'll be gone so fast your head will spin. But we have a great military. We have a military that defeated ISIS in 4 weeks once I got in. We want no inflation, not 30 or 50% inflation, which is what you had. Think of it. You were destroyed. People were destroyed with the inflation. I don't even order bacon anymore. You know, bacon's gone up like 5. I said, it's too expensive. I don't want it. I don't want it. No, it's gone up many times, right? Byron likes bacon. Bacon, I think maybe, how many stand up, Byron? Byron, how good is Byron? They say it's gone up 4 times since 4 times. So we don't eat bacon anymore, right? No more. We want American energy independence, not all electric cars and the Green New Scam. It's the greatest scam. Above all, we want America first, not America last. They want America last. What they're doing to our country is not even believable. That's why Florida is going to defeat the radical left Democrat hoaxers and liars. And the election day, we are going to tell crooked Joe Biden, Joe, you've done a horrible job. You're fired. Get out, Joe. You're fired. You know, it's only 103 degrees out here. So, you know, they built all these, they call them, sir, we have many water spots. I said, what about one for me? Do I have one? I don't have one, Marco. They gave water spots. Everybody has, they call it a water spot. Where water comes out, you get, they don't have anything for me. I'm being drenched up here. With your vote, I will begin saving our country from every Biden disaster, starting the moment I lift my hand from the Bible after taking the oath of office. We're going to do it on day 1. On day 1, we're going to do it. I will seal the border, stop the invasion. We have an invasion coming through our southern border. And by the way, you know who wants that? You know who wants that invasion stopped the most? Hispanic people, because they don't want their jobs taken. They don't want their homes taken. And you know who it affects the most is black people, because these people are coming in and taking jobs at a level that nobody's ever seen before. What they've done to our country is unbelievable. But we want to send Joe Biden's illegal aliens back home where they belong. Remember, as I said, they come from prisons, they come from jails. All these countries are at record low numbers of crime. They're sending us their criminals from Caracas and Venezuela. Caracas, Venezuela. Next year we'll meet in Venezuela because it will be safe. Their crime has gone down 72% because they've sent all of their drug dealers, their criminals, and most of their prisoners into our country. But that's true with most countries. And if I were running one of the countries throughout the world, not just in South America, I would be doing exactly the same thing. I would have done it faster than they've done it. But our country is being destroyed. 2 weeks ago, it was revealed that Biden and Harris have allowed more than 50 radical Islamic terrorists, some of the worst in the world, by the way, to cross our border and remain at large in our country, and we have no idea where they are. They have no idea also where these terrorists are, but Joe and Kamala are simply carrying on with business as usual, holding fundraisers, taking afternoon naps. And as Joe says, I want to go to the beach today. The guy thinks he looks good in a bathing suit. Did you ever say? Well, somebody in his staff told him, you look great in a bathing suit. He can't lift the chair. You know, those chairs are meant for children and old people to lift. Old people and children. And he can't lift them. They weigh about 4 ounces. When I'm president, I promise you this, I will not rest until we have found these radical Islamic terrorists and throw them the hell out of our country. We're going to get them out of here. And we will not let them back in. So many people, very few were thrown out, but the ones that came back in during this Biden administration of open borders, who the hell wants open borders? How crazy is it? Under the Biden border disaster, other countries are emptying out their prisons and their jails. They're emptying out their mental institutions. And I go a step further. You know what an insane asylum is, right? Did anyone ever see the lovely movie Silence of the Lambs? Did you see it? Did you ever hear of Hannibal Lecter? He was a lovely man. He would love to have you for dinner. He will take you. You had many people for dinner. Well, we have a lot of people coming in. They always say, oh, that's terrible, that Trump would say. He is rambling about Hannibal Lecter. No, I'm not rambling. We are allowing people from insane asylums and mental institutions into our country by the tens of thousands, and they're closing them down in other countries. Because, you know, the cost savings and all of the savings, and sending bloodthirsty terrorists, savage gang members, and child predators into the United States to prey on our people, to prey on you, to prey on everybody. They're coming not only from South America, but from all over the world, from Asia, Africa, and every other place. They're coming from all over the world. 2 weeks ago, I spoke to the grieving mother, Jocelyn Nungari, a precious 12-year-old girl from Houston who is tied up, stripped, assaulted, raped, strangled to death after walking the block to a 7-Eleven store on the corner. Her body was dumped near the side of the road in a shallow creek, charged with Jocelyn's heinous murder. Beautiful, beautiful girl. The mother is devastated. Like, I mean, pretty much, I would say, over. The mother, I don't know. I spoke to the mother. Mother is just as you would be, as anybody would be. But charged with Jocelyn's heinous murder are 2 illegal aliens who Joe Biden set loose into our country. He let them loose, and they knew who they were. They came across our border claiming they feared for their lives. No, other people they feared for their lives when they saw these 2 guys. They didn't fear at all. They had no fear. They're tough people. And Joe Biden and his group of people let them in. We're going to bring back, by the way, we're bringing back Tom Homan. We're bringing back all of the guys that did such a great job on the border. We had the greatest border in history. Brandon, Judd, great people. These are great people. One of them was in the country for only 20 days before ending Jocelyn's beautiful American life, and recently in Virginia at Trump National Golf Club in the Potomac River, I had lunch with the mother of and the sister of Rachel Morin. Rachel was a 37-year-old beautiful mother of 5 who was attacked, raped, and brutally murdered while out on a run. She was running. She always wanted to keep herself in good shape, her mother told me. She was a beautiful person. Police believe the sadistic monster charged with Rachel's death first killed another woman in another country, then fled across Joe Biden's wide-open border into the United States, after which he attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother in a home invasion in Los Angeles before murdering Rachel in Maryland. When I return to the White House, we will stop the plunder, rape, slaughter, and destruction of our American suburbs and cities and towns. We're going to stop it. We will shut down deadly sanctuary cities. I will shift massive portions of federal law enforcement to immigration enforcement. We will close up our border, and we want people to come in, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in legally. And on day 1, we will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country. We have no choice. And as I say, and I say it all the time, and I already said it to you, no one has been hurt more by the Biden invasion than our great African American and Hispanic American populations. Under Crooked Joe, 109% of all net job creation over the last year has gone to migrants. Did you know that? Almost every job that was created has gone to migrants. In fact, more than every job. It's crushing wages for American workers, draining resources for American citizens, and stealing American jobs. And they are stealing them at levels that nobody's ever seen before. Joe Biden wants to be the president for illegal aliens, but I will be the president for law-abiding Americans of every background, every walk of life, and every race, religion, color, and creed. Joe Biden's job numbers are fake. They're fake numbers, and the fake media knows it, but they don't look at all of them back there. Oh, that's a lot, Marco. That's a lot, Marco. I think they probably think I'm going to be announcing that Marco's going to be vice president. I don't know. Because that's a lot of press. That's a lot of press. They're also overwhelmingly part-time jobs, which really means that they're second jobs of people who are struggling to get by. They're being taken by the illegal migrants that are coming into our country in these record numbers. We've never seen anything. It is indeed an invasion. When I return to the White House, I will once again be the greatest jobs president that God has ever created. And like we had 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, we will have full-time jobs at a level that nobody's ever seen before. We had the greatest economy in the history of the planet. Well-paying jobs and jobs that can support a home and a family very, very easily. We had it all. As everyone knows, the Biden economy is a nightmare for working families under Crooked Joe. Inflation, price hikes, and they've cost, listen to this, $28,000. $28,000. And you know, under Trump, you made $14,000. That's a big swing. Under Biden and Harris, half of Americans are not taking a vacation at all this summer because they can't afford to do it. Most say it's because the cost of daily life is so high, no matter what they make, they can't. Because, you know, they like to say 20%, 29%, 26%, 31%. I think your inflation, your real inflation, is way over 50%, and I believe that. Meanwhile, Crooked Joe has spent almost 50% of his presidency on vacation. Almost all of it, including many, many weeks on the beach. And mansions are in, think of this. Here's a guy that's been a politician all his life. He's got homes in the Virgin Islands, Nantucket, Lake Tahoe, Kiowa Island. I mean, where the hell did they get all this money, Byron? He's got more homes than I do. What the hell is going on with him? And that home he's got in Delaware is pretty nice, right? But remember, they said it was his son's home. You know, his son is running it, right? You know that, right? You know that. He's running our government. And Jill is helping. Jill is helping. Where's Hunter? Remember the sign? Where's Hunter? Where's Hunter? He's in the White House. Hunter is in the White House running government right now, they say. That's interesting. No wonder Joe doesn't want to give up the job. His own staff says that the only hours he works are 10 a.m. to 4. Does anybody here have a job like that? Raise your hand, please. And I doubt he even spends that. And today he's with the people from NATO. And these people are sharp. I know them very well, every one of them. They're very smart. They're at the top of their game. And they're saying, what the hell is with this guy? We can't figure it out. You know, I saved NATO because when I went down, hey, Barack Hussein Obama, has anyone ever heard of him? He would go and, you know, go to wherever they're holding the NATO meeting, and he'd make a nice speech and he'd leave. And Bush would go and make a nice speech and he would leave, in all fairness. Bush, oh yeah. But he'd make a nice speech and he'd leave. They'd all go make speeches and they'd leave. They wouldn't even stay there a day. I went and didn't make a nice speech. I said, what the hell are you doing? Nobody's paying. Nobody was paying. But I didn't want to be obnoxious because I felt, you know, it's the first time I'd ever done this. I went. I didn't even know what the hell NATO was too much before, but it didn't take me long to figure it out, like about 2 minutes. And the first thing I figured out was they weren't paying. We were paying. We were paying almost fully for NATO. And I said, that's unfair, but I didn't want to make a big mess. You know, I was president for about 15 minutes. And I didn't want to, you know, go after NATO as my first thing. But 6 months later, I went back to the second meeting, and I said, you know what? You're not paying your bills. You got to pay your bills. Somebody stood up from one of the countries, 28 countries, and only 7 were paying what they should be paying. 28 countries, think of that. And these countries, now we added a couple, but 28 countries. And they said, sir, could I ask you, I said, you have to pay your bills. They said, sir, may I ask you a question? If we don't pay our bills, will you protect us from Russia? I said, you mean you're delinquent? They said, yes, we're delinquent. Let's say we're delinquent. Would you protect us? I said, no, I will not protect you from Russia. The money came in by the billions. It came in. There's never been, right? There has never been. Where's Waltz? Where's Congressman Waltz? Am I correct, Mr. Guy? This guy loves the military. He gets sick when he looks at what we're doing, but he loves it. Is that right? I got billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars came pouring in because he said, oh, this guy's a little different than the other guys. But Joe Biden is a part-time president while you are working overtime to get by. He's a part-time, he doesn't work. Well, he can't work because he's mentally no good. He's shot. But he was shot 25 years ago. You know, he was never a smart person. In fact, Ted Kennedy was actually a friend of mine. Can you believe it? Because of Palm Beach. He lived in Palm Beach. The Kennedy compound, for those that think the Kennedys are struggling, they had the Kennedy compound, but I did him a favor, and he liked me, and I was very good to him, actually. And I said to him, Ted, let me ask you a question. Who's the smartest senator? Tell me. And he gave me a name, but I won't say it because I can't stand the guy, okay? I'll tell you later, Marco, who he said. It wasn't you because you weren't there yet, so it can't be. But I said, who's the smartest? He gave me a name. I said, so who's the dumbest? He goes, probably Joe. This is like 20 years ago, 20-something years ago. Probably Joe. I said, who's Joe? He said, Joe Biden. I said, really? He's a dumb guy? Yeah, he didn't understand policy. He didn't understand tax. He didn't understand anything. He's hale and hearty and well met. And outside of his really bad hair, he's, you know, sort of a good-looking guy at the time, right? I think the facelift did not help him. No, he said, I'm going to get myself a facelift. I'm going to give it one more try. You know, he tried it 3 or 4 times. Didn't work. He tried it 3 or 4 times, and he said, I'm going to look great. I'm going to get a facelift. You know what took him so long to get into the race? The facelift didn't work. Under my leadership, we will make America affordable again so that every American family can afford to take a thing called a vacation. Isn't that nice? And on day one, we will throw out Bidenomics and replace it with a thing called MAGA-nomics. We will quickly build the greatest economy in the history of the world. I will repeal every disastrous Biden regulation, of which there are many. Cancel Crooked Joe's insane electric vehicle mandate. How stupid. And we will drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill like we never drilled before. We were energy independent 4 years ago. Think of it. We're going to be energy dominant within months. 4 years ago, energy independent. I will deliver large tax cuts, larger than you even have now. Do you know, I tell the story to people. It's hard to believe. I reduced taxes, the largest tax cuts in the history of our country. I reduced them bigger than the Reagan tax cuts many years ago. And with a lower rate, the following year, we took in much more tax money. Think of it. So we're getting much less. That meant for small businesses, large businesses, because that's what the job creators are. For middle-income people, low-income people, everybody. And he wants to let that expire. And if you do, your taxes are going to go up about 5 times, 4 times more. How would you feel if they raise your taxes by 4 or 5 times? Not 2. And remember that when you're going into the voting booth. Do I want to have a terrible president who has no idea where the hell he is? And less importantly, do I want to pay 4 times more tax? And remember, what I'm going to do is something that nobody has ever even thought about doing. No tax on tips. For all of you waitresses, for all of you caddies at Doral. You know, I came to Doral, and there were some caddies at the shack. We call it Caddy Shack. It's the most beautiful caddy shack I've ever seen. We have the world's most beautiful. They sit down and watch television. And I never had this before. They were out for a round. They're very sweaty, very, very sweaty guys. You know, look, they're carrying bags all over the place. Not easy. It's 100 degrees out today, 103, 104. And they saw me, and they gave me the biggest hug. I said, get the hell out of here. You're soaking wet. I said, why do you like me so much today, but in the past you never touched me and kissed me and hugged me? It's very simple, sir. No tax on tips. Thank you very much. So for caddies, for waitresses, I mean, it's tremendous. And it's a very complicated thing, frankly, for the government to collect. But they've issued new rules and regulations that make it very bad for people. The reason I thought of this, I was in Nevada, where we're leading, by the way, a lot. We're up by like 14 points in Nevada. That's supposed to be a little bit Democrat territory. But we're leading in Nevada, and a waitress came over, beautiful waitress, and I never like talking about physical, because she's beautiful inside. Because you never talk about a person's look, ever. You never mention it. The other day, I got very angry. Some man called Chris Christie fat. And I said, sir, and then he said he was a pig. I said, sir, Chris Christie is not a fat pig. Please remember that. He is not a fat pig. Please take it back. And the guy's looking at me like, really? No, we have to defend people. You can't call people fat. So I said about 9 times, he is not a fat pig. So every time you leave a tip for the next 4 months, because it's going to go into effect very quickly, make sure that you write on the receipt, vote Trump for no tax on trips. No tax on tips. That's a good one. No, but the waitress said, I said, how are you doing? She said, she worked there a long time, great person, beautiful person. And she said, oh, it's brutal with the government, what they do to us. It's crazy. They come, you know, they put on 88,000 people to go and take advantage of people like that. And she said, it's brutal. I said, you know, I have a great idea. How about no tax on tips? That was the extent of my study. One waitress. But it's true. It made so much. Isn't it funny that nobody ever thought of that but me? Isn't that weird? But it's a great thing, and they deserve their money. They work hard for it. They deserve it. Marco, you're going to vote for it, I hope? Well, you may or may not be there to vote for it, but you'll be involved. It's no wonder Joe Biden and his thugs are so desperate to stop us. They know that we are the only. Within 6 months, we were going to have that all worked out. They were ready. Then Biden came in, right? Then Biden came in. It's a disgrace. Trying to silence dissent and put their political adversaries behind bars. He wants to put me behind bars. My parents are looking down saying this was not planned when he went to the Wharton School of Finance. The great Alphonse Capone, you know Alphonse, a very nice gentleman, very fine man. Scarface, they call him in some territory. He has a scar from here to here. He didn't get it by playing tiddlywinks either. No, he was a guy that, see this man right up here is a very tough guy. I know him, he's tough as hell. If he ever had dinner with Al Capone and Al Capone didn't like him, he'd look at him and say, are you mocking me? And this guy would go, no, no, I promise I'm not. But if Alphonse didn't like you, you'd never see him again, darling. Your husband would never be home again. He'd right now be a part of a foundation of a very tall building. But Al Capone got indicted less than I did. Think of it, Alphonse Capone. My parents would look down, they were so great. They're saying, how did this ever happen to my son? But you know what? We're finding out, and everybody knew, and I've been saying it's a total fraud. It was election interference, that's all it was. All Biden, they're all Biden indictments, the local ones, the state ones. They're all Biden indictments. He's a bad guy. He's unleashed a horrible thing on this country. He's really done. Wouldn't you say, Byron? He has unleashed a horrible thing because, you know, that can happen the other way around, too. But the Supreme Court came out with an incredible decision this week, and I have great respect for the courage that they've shown. Great respect for the courage that they've shown. They have great intellect and great insight, incredible insight. They got it. They saw what was happening, not only with me, but with other people, what they did with the Fisher verdict. You know the Fisher verdict, right? That has to do with the J6 people. They had great decisions this last week. Decisions on regulations that are going to free up businesses and allow businesses to hire people and thrive. All of their persecution is only happening because I am running for president and leading very big in every single poll. And we're not just leading against crooked Joe Biden, we're leading against Kamala, and we're leading against everybody else. And our senators and our congressmen are coming in with us. We're going to have a big day, most important day. The radical left Democrats have spent this entire election posing as defenders of democracy. You ever hear Biden? He's a threat to democracy. He doesn't even know what the hell the term is. Trump is a threat to democracy. This guy. Low IQ. He's a low IQ individual. But they're lying in the entire world of Joe Biden's condition. I mean, you see his condition. You see them frantically trying to overturn the results of 50 state primaries and install a new candidate at the behest of their very rich donors. Do you know that we took in record numbers over the last 4 weeks, and most of it was taken in with small donors, $61 on average, $61. And those people vote. But the Democrats, I think that their funding is stopping because I think They're rich donors. They have a lot of rich donors. We have some, but we don't really focus on it. We focus on the small donor. To me, one thing, every small donor votes. The rich donors, they're in Monte Carlo during the election. You know, how's the election going? Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. He is a major threat to democracy, and Democrats are the ones who really want to destroy democracy in our country. The radical left Democrats rigged the presidential election in 2020, and we're not going to allow them to rig the presidential election in 2024. And every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it a great badge of honor. I do. Because I'm being indicted for you. Never forget, our enemies want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. It's as simple as that. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun being indicted. Thank you. I didn't know. What does it mean to be indicted? Thank you. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. And in the end, they're not after me. They're after you. I just happen to be standing in their way, and I always will be standing in their way. We're not going to let happen to our country what's happened to so many countries that many of you people, and he was tough. Fantastic, Governor. Thank you, Rick. Thank you. Thank you, Rick. We have a lot of congressmen. Let's introduce it. What the hell else do we have to do, right? Should we introduce? And by the way, at the end, do you want the music or do you want no music? Music, ready? Music or no music, ready? Who wants the music? Who wants a little bit quicker? I think we have music tonight. Get the music ready. Get the music ready. We have some incredible... I'm going to get into a fight with him anytime soon. Byron Donalds, who's fantastic. His wife, by the way, is a true expert on education. I say, stay ready. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Thank you, darling, for being here. Appreciate it. Great, great person. Maria Salazar. Carlos Jimenez. Carlos. Mario Diaz-Balart. Thank you. Thank you. Great job. You have a fantastic lieutenant governor who's here, Jeanette Nunes. Jeanette, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you. And Florida State Senators Debbie Mayfield. Thank you. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you very much. Ileana Garcia. Thank you. Ana Maria Rodriguez. Thank you. Great people. State Representatives Jessica Baker. Randy Fine. Where's Randy Fine? Good. Thanks, Randy. Kevin Steele. Paula Stark. Juan Carlos Porras. Alina Garcia. David Barrero. Fabian Basebe. Fabian, thank you. Tom Fabricio. Thank you, Tom. Thanks, Tom. Vicky Lopez. A very good guy, fantastic person, great politician, frankly, but he loves the state. Incoming Speaker of the Florida House, Danny Perez. Thank you, Danny. Good job. Good luck, Danny. That should be an easy job. Good luck. And Alex Rizzo. Thank you, Alex, very much. A person who I know personally does a fantastic job as the mayor of Doral, Christy Fraga. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Great job. Appreciate it. Vice Mayor Oscar Pugue Carvey. Oscar, Vice Mayor. Thank you, Oscar. Councilwoman Digna Cabral. Thank you, Digna. Thank you very much. Sweetwater Mayor Jose Pepe Diaz. I've known him a long time. Pepe. Western Mayor Brown. Thank you, Margaret. Well, we got a lot of politics. You have no idea. I'm introducing about 25%. We did it by the luck of the draw. Miami-Dade County Commissioners Kevin Cabrera and J.C. Bermudez. J.C., thank you. Great people, great politicians, but good politicians. The next Miami-Dade County Sheriff, Rosie Cordero Stutz. Thank you, Rosie. Good luck. She has my endorsement. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Ambassador Carlos Trujillo. Carlos Trujillo. Thank you, Carlos. Great job you're doing. A friend of all of ours, and this woman is amazing. Laura Loomer. Where is she? Where's Laura? She is amazing. Felix Lusarte. Felix. Where is Felix? My lawyer. He's my lawyer. How am I doing? Am I getting the damn zoning done, Felix? He's doing a great job. And my sons, and we have one of my sons, this is the first time he's ever done it. First of all, one you know, and he's an incredible guy. He's very tough. He's very, very strong. Great speaker, great talent. Donald Trump Jr. And another son who's here tonight. I love when my sons and family come, you know, it's really nice. Somebody who's fantastic, works so hard, so smart, has a great wife, as does Don. Oh, you like Laura, right? Let's get off Eric and let's talk about Laura. Laura's only the head of the Republican Party. She's upwardly mobile. She's upwardly mobile. But a man who's done an incredible job at the company, and I think there has never been a human being that's had more subpoenas. Every day, Congress would serve a subpoena on him, and he has done some job, I'll tell you. Eric Trump. Thank you. Great job. And a very young man. This is a young man. He just turned 18. Oh, look at this. A very young man who's now going to college, got into every college he wanted to, and he made his choice. And he's a very good guy, I'll tell you. You know, I'm not allowed to call them boy, but he is my boy. He's my boy. They're all my boys, right? When you have sons, they can be any age. They're your boy. They're always going to be. And he is a very special guy. Barron Trump. This is the first time he's ever done this. Barron. Where is Barron? Stand up. Look at him. That's the first time he's done it. That's the first time, right? Hey, you're pretty popular. He might be more popular than Don and Eric. We got to talk about this. Hey, Don, we got to talk about this, huh? All right. So, Barron, it's good to have you. Welcome to the scene, Barron. I don't know. He had such a nice, easy life. Now it's a little bit changed. Anyway, a special guy, right? Also, some grandchildren who are very talented. Two of them are great golfers, really great golfers. You all know about Kai. Where's Kai? Kai. And a real little killer. She hits a long ball for her size. She can barely lift the club until she swings. Her swing is perfect. Chloe. And Don Jr.'s here somewhere, I think. Vanessa is here. Oh, there he is. Good. Hi, Don. What a good group. Vanessa Trump, stand up. Thanks. Thank you, Don Jr. That's good. Don the Third, and also a real friend of the family. She's been friendly. You know, she started off on The Five years ago, and she made that show very successful. She was the star of that show, actually. And she was always good to me a long time, long before I knew her in this capacity. And she was really a big star on television, very, very big. The Five, when it was just in its infancy and it was hot as it could be. Kimberly Guilfoyle. Thank you, Kimberly. And she hasn't stopped. So thank you all for being here. And I know I didn't introduce many congressmen and likes of others, but I think we have to get back to the business at hand. Is it too hot for anybody? No, not bad. Once you get used to the fact that you're soaking wet, from the moment we take back the White House from crooked Joe Biden, I believe we are going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, shortly after we, all of us together, win the presidency, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled, and I will prevent our nation, and we will prevent the whole world from entering World War III, because that's where we are. We're very close to World War III, and Biden doesn't have a clue. We should have never allowed, if you think about it, Russia, Ukraine would have never happened. October 7th, the attack on Israel would have never happened. Edition would have never happened. Think of our country if the election wasn't rigged. Think of it. Think where we'd be if they didn't rig that election. So we're not going to let it happen again, because our country won't exist. It would be I believe it would be the last election we've ever had if anything happened. I really believe it. We're not going to let that happen. You got to get out and vote. If I was president, though, and think of it, Afghanistan, one of the most embarrassing moments in the history of our country, would also never have happened. It would have never happened. You know, Ukraine, when you think Ukraine, I had a very good relationship with Putin. We talk about it. It was the apple of his eye. Would have never happened. I told him, can't do it. You're not going to do it. October 7th, the attack on Israel, I knew it so well. They had no money because the purveyor of funds was Iran, and Iran was broke. They had all sanctions. Nobody could buy. China couldn't buy. China was a massive buyer of oil from Iran. I said, if you buy from Iran, you can't do business in the United States. And they did very well in the United States. And they didn't nobody, but Iran was broke. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for Hamas. And we had no terror. You know, I always wanted to talk about it when I was president. I was 3 years in, 3.5 years in. I said, I want to just brag a little bit. I want to say that we had no terror. There were no terror attacks in 4 years, but I wanted to brag about it. But I wanted to wait till I got out, and now I brag about it all the time. We had very few terrorists allowed into our country. We had a year, 2019, where the charts come out, how many terrorists enter the country. I think they're wrong because I can't believe it, but they actually had no terrorists. 0 terrorists came in 2019. That was a Trump. Now we have thousands and thousands of terrorists pouring into our country from all over the world, and they're the worst terrorists in the world. They're the biggest and the worst, and we got them living in our country. They actually put down 2019, Trump, no terrorists, 0. I don't believe that, but that's what they have, and that was done by Border Patrol and others, State Department. I'll take it. I don't believe it, but it was very close to nothing, and they actually have 0 terrorists came into our country. We were tough on it, and we would not have Russian warships and nuclear submarines surrounding Cuba 60 miles off our coast. You know that, right? For all of you people in Cuba, congratulations. You're now being protected by Russia. Congratulations. Can you imagine that the press, the fake news, those people, they don't even talk about it. We have nuclear submarines and 5 warships in Cuba, and they don't even talk about it. If that happened to me as president, it would be the biggest story every single day. But they don't talk about it because they're fake and corrupt news. When I was in the White House, I canceled Barack Hussein Obama's deal with the Cuban dictatorship and reimposed tough sanctions on that regime. They were ready to break. They were all set, and then we had the election. Would have been all solved very quickly. I again stand with the people of Cuba in their long quest for just liberty and freedom. In my next term, we will build a great iron dome over our country, a dome like has never been seen before, a state-of-the-art missile defense shield that will be entirely made in the USA, right here in your state, right here in Florida. We'll build a big section. You have a lot of defense. We moved a lot of companies into Florida for defense purposes. I will not cut one penny from Social Security or Medicare, and I will not raise the retirement age by 1 day. Biden is going to do that because he's allowing these people that come in to go on to Social Security and Medicare, to go into the hospitals. And, you know, we want to be nice, but no country can sustain this. No country can sustain it. I kept Social Security or Medicare. If the millions of Biden migrants became citizens, Medicare and Social Security will be gone. They'll be gone. They'll be gone. We're going to rebuild our cities into beacons of hope, safety, and beauty better than they have ever been before. We will take over the horribly run Capitol, Washington Monument. Let's go and look at some of the beautiful scenery. Let's go make our capital beautiful again. We're going to do the same thing with our cities, even though Democrat run. We're going to work with Democrat governors and mayors if we have to. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto the lives of our children. And I will not give one penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate. And I will keep men out of women's sports. Can you imagine? Can you imagine even having to say that? I will fully uphold the Second Amendment. We will protect innocent life, and we will restore free speech in our country. And I will secure our elections once and for all. Our goal will be one-day voting with paper ballots, proof of citizenship, and voter ID. Very simple. But until then, Republicans must win. You must get out and vote. We want a landslide, and let's call it this: too big to rig. Too big to rig. Thank you. Look at all the front row Joes. Oh, wow. Wow, they've been to like 200 rallies. Thank you very much. It's a great honor to have you. Great. It's a great honor. These are real patriots. They make a lot of money, I guess, because they're at every rally. I go to California, have a rally, I have the front row Joes there. If you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States and added them up, they would not have done near the destruction to our country as Joe Biden and the Biden administration has done. Think of it. I used to say 5, remember? 6 months ago, I'd say 5 worse. I added 10. I could go higher than that. There's nobody that's done destruction to our country. And now we find out he probably doesn't even know he did it, okay? Joe, why did you do it? I did what did I do? So if you want to save America, get your friends, get your family, get everyone you know, and vote. You got to vote early, vote absentee, vote on election day, vote anytime you want, but vote and follow your vote. Make sure that it gets counted. You can do that. Follow that vote, because these people cheat like nobody's ever cheated before. Frankly, they're no good at policy, but they're good at cheating. And if you want to help us ensure election integrity, sign up at protectthevote.com. So in conclusion, from Jacksonville to Miami, from Tampa to Tallahassee, from the beautiful place that I know very well, destined to right here in Doral, we inherit the legacy of generations of American patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears to defend our country and our freedom. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the ocean, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, raised up those great, beautiful skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, and from right here in this beautiful state, launched our brave American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the face of the moon. Together, they made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world. But now we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has the highest inflation in 50 years, where banks are collapsing and interest rates are skyrocketing. Likewise, we are a nation where energy costs have reached the highest levels in our history. We are energy independent or energy dominant, as we were just a few short years ago. We are a nation that is begging Venezuela and others for oil. Please, please, please help us, Joe Biden says. And yet we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country anywhere in the world. We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will be reducing their oil production while at the same time substantially increasing the price. And we met that threat by announcing that we will no longer be drilling for oil in large areas of Alaska and elsewhere in our precious land. We are a nation that is considered and consumed by the radical left's Green New Deal. Yet everyone knows that the Green New scam is fake and will lead only to our destruction. We are a nation whose leaders are demanding all electric cars, despite the fact that they don't go far, cost too much. Make our great. Who are these people who would ruin our country? We are a nation that ended oil exploration and production just as the price of oil reached an all-time high. What other country would do such a stupid thing, a foolish thing, and self-destruct itself just like we've done for 4 years? Can we be energy independent and even energy dominant again? Yes, oh yes, and quickly, says President Trump. Yes, oh yes, and we will do it quickly. We are a nation that surrendered in Afghanistan, leaving dead soldiers, American citizens, and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment anywhere in the world. We left it behind. And also abandoning Bagram, one of the biggest military bases anywhere in the world, and only 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. And we are a nation that allowed Russia and Ukraine to fight, killing hundreds of thousands of people, and it will only get worse. It would never have happened with me as your president, and for 4 straight years, it didn't happen. Likewise, the horrifying attack on Israel would have never happened. They wouldn't even have thought of doing such a thing if President Trump was in the Oval Office. Iran was broke under the Trump administration. They didn't have the money to fund Hamas, Hezbollah, and all of the other instruments of terror that they use. But those sanctions were lifted by a corrupt Biden administration. And now Iran is a rich country with $250 billion. Think of that. Iran now has, from nothing, they were broke. They now have $250 billion. $6 billion they also got for hostages. $6 billion. And for electricity to Iraq, they were given $10 billion, all compliments of an incompetent Biden administration. And China with Taiwan is next. We are a nation that allows radical left terrorists to violently attack our cities, leaving behind massive destruction and death, and nothing happens to the criminals that do these terrible things. There is no punishment. But when people who love our country protest on January 6th in Washington, they become hostages, unfairly imprisoned for long periods of time. But fortunately, the Supreme Court has just ruled, and they should be out soon. We are a third world nation that has weaponized its law enforcement against the opposing political party like never seen before in our country. We've got a Federal Bureau of Investigation that won't allow bad election-changing facts to be presented to the public, and which offers $1 million to a writer of fiction about Donald Trump to lie, and to say it was fact. Where Hunter Biden's laptop from hell was Russian disinformation, and the FBI knew it wasn't. But 51 intelligence agents said it was, and a Department of Justice that refuses to investigate egregious acts of voting irregularities and fraud. And we have a man who is totally corrupt, totally incompetent, and the worst president in the history of our country, who is cognitively impaired and is a president who is not legally allowed to stand trial because he is mentally incompetent, but he is allowed to become the president of the United States again, and he is in no condition to lead, and is now in charge of dealing with Russia and China and all of these countries on possible nuclear war. He has no clue what he's doing or where he is. And next will be World War III, because he doesn't know what he's doing. And this will be a war more devastating than any of the other wars. It will be a war like no other because of the weaponry that no one wants to even think about or ever talk about. We are a nation that no longer has a free and fair press. Fake news is all you get, and they are indeed the enemy of the people. They refuse to discuss the Biden crime family, but enjoy covering the false indictments of Donald J. Trump, who has done nothing wrong except win an election against crooked Hillary Clinton. We are a nation like never before. We are a nation that is allowing Iran to build a massive nuclear weapon and China to use the trillions and trillions of dollars it has taken from us to build a military to rival our own. And less than 4 years ago, we had Iran, China, Russia, North Korea. All they respected us. They were afraid of us. They weren't going to do a thing against us, and everyone knows it. Now Russia and China are holding summits to carve up the rest of the world. And perhaps most importantly, we are a nation that is no longer admired, respected, or listened to on the world stage. They just aren't. We are a nation, in fact, that in many ways has become a joke. And we are a nation that is hostile to liberty, freedom, faith, and even to God. We are a nation whose economy is collapsing into a cesspool of ruin, and whose supply chain is broken, whose stores are not stocked, whose deliveries are not coming, and whose educational system is ranked at the very bottom. On MAGA winning the next election, if MAGA doesn't win the distribution where the authority of our great police has been taken, where their families and pensions have been threatened, and their lives would be destroyed for the mere mention of the words law enforcement. We are a nation where fentanyl and all other forms of illegal drugs are easier to get than groceries to feed our beautiful families and babies. We have become a drug-infested, crime-ridden nation which is incapable of solving even the simplest of problems. We will institute the powerful death penalty for drug dealers, where each dealer is responsible for the death during their lives. Never again be forced to watch their children overdosing and hospitally. And we will never allow mothers to watch their child hopelessly dying in their arms, screaming, "What can I do? What can I do? Help me, God, what can I do?" We are a nation whose once revered airports are a dirty, crowded mess. You sit and wait for hours and then are notified that the plane won't leave, that they have no idea when they will, where ticket prices have tripled. They don't have the pilots to fly the planes. They don't see qualified air traffic controllers, and they just don't know what the hell they are doing. We are a nation that screens its citizens viciously at all ports, but if you are an illegal alien, you are allowed to flow through by the millions and millions right over our southern border. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, lost its willpower, and lost its strength. We are a nation that has lost its way. But we are not going to allow this horror to continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. With the right leadership, every disaster Joe Biden has created can be fixed, and quickly. Every problem can be solved, and every wrong can be rectified, and it will be rectified very quickly. By this time next year, America's borders will be strong, sealed, and secure. Inflation will be in full retreat. Our economy will be at a level that will equal and even surpass what it was 4 years ago. Optimism will be surging. The American dream will be thriving again for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. Law and justice will reign all throughout our land. Freedom will be restored. The flame of liberty will be burning bright. Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country, will be a fading memory of the past, and our great silent majority, including the once forgotten men and women of our country, will be the one shaping America's magnificent future when I am the 47th President of the United States. Because we are all Americans, and together we will show November 5th to be the most important day in the history of America. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America free again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Florida. Thank you very much. Thank you, Miami. God bless everyone. God bless you all. Thank you.